Welcome back to what's going on in politics. Apparently, it's not our fort or forte, as some people would say. We do appreciate likes and comments on our miserable attempt of explaining what's going on the United States right now. But we're going to be talking about the new arrest of Giuliani, former mayor Giuliani, and former America's mayor Giuliani, who was married to his cousin. It's a whole thing.
Mhm.
So let's start into that. What do you think?
Well, I was disappointed. I haven't heard anyone tell me how much he weighed, which
Yeah, that's
definitely just
obviously an important thing for the mugshot and the weight. For some reason, I don't understand that, but okay. Yeah.
apparently we're supposed to be told, and that's a big deal, is how much one weighs in Fulton County, Georgia. I don't get it, but and look, so all these people are they're making bets on how much Trump will weigh when he turns himself in, and I'm thinking I don't care because I'm not going to throw rocks at that glass house. I live in that glass house. I'm just simply not. Yeah, I mean, no way. Yeah, I'm not throwing rocks there. So whatever they may weigh, whatever, guys.
Yeah,
Get
that's
it.
the one thing I'm not going to attack Trump on is his
No,
weight or lack of athletic ability. So
yeah.
I'm not going to do that. But I will say I watched Giuliani's press conference today, and
Mhm.
his newly appointed Fulton County lawyer was probably a little perturbed and peeved just watching, oh man, this is what he does, and just kind of buries them. I just love watching all these guys continue to bury themselves in the public eye because they still claim that they're wrong, they're the one that's being wronged, and it's funny to me to watch and see that some of these guys will not admit to wrongdoings, which they shouldn't. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, but you should say nothing, right? Just
Yeah, I mean, look, silence is golden here. I mean, that's what you want from your client. If Giuliani, who claims he's this brilliant lawyer who invented RICO,
yeah,
uh, he should really silence is golden here. But look, a successful news conference for Rudolph Valentino Giuliani. I'm assuming Valentino is his middle name. I'm not sure. Um,
he has two middle names, I think.
yeah, yeah. So Rudy, a successful press conference is one, it doesn't take place next to a porn shop,
Right.
and two, hair dye does not run down the side of his face. That's successful right there. It doesn't matter what he says. If those two things didn't happen, successful,
Well,
successful.
check and checkmate today on both those accounts.
Yeah.
He still looks stupid as ever, and it. I'll never understand why people are asking you to speak. That doesn't mean you have to speak or
Right.
make a statement or anything like that. I think they're missing the point there, especially outside of the courthouse where they just literally took your mugshot, which again, no hair dye running or anything. I think he looked pretty good for what he looks like. But the fact remains, he's one of the 19 participants in this RICO case, and I gotta wonder if he's gonna be one of the ones standing in the end that's gonna get convicted in the end, because we already talked about how 19 is gonna dwindle down to like 5 to 7. Is he gonna be one of the 5 or 7? Maybe. It's who rats first is kind of this. It's a race to who rats first right now. So it's interesting.
So the concern for Giuliani was, in particular, was how much money does he have? Can he fight this? He's not going to get any money from Trump. He'll go a little bit for his defense, but the concern was that he's pretty broke right now. However, he did manage to fly into Atlanta on a private plane, so someone's giving him some money somewhere. So I think his biggest thing is how far does he ride it out? Is how much money does he have to ride it out? I think that's going to be his thing because in the end, look, all these guys are banking on the fact there's either going to be minimal or probably no jail time.
Right.
So I think that's what he's thinking, and I think that's hubris at best to believe that because this is going to be in front of a jury, and obviously one grand jury's already indicted you, so you're taking a lot of chances.
And I think it's short sighted to think that the clout that you have and intimidating witnesses and call to actions like protesting in front of the Fulton County courthouse and stuff like that is going to help protect your ass. It's not. Um, and the RICO case that they're talking about, this specific indictment, it comes with a mandatory minimum. And
Right.
knowing a bunch of things about mandatory minimums for people that have been in jail for years because of federal mandatory minimums of marijuana, right? The
Right.
judges the judge's hands are tied. So people want to come at the judge like, no, this is a mandatory minimum. The DA is coming with the indictments. So the judge's hands are tied if convicted, which obviously I think we're going that route, right?
Right. Well, and that's the whole thing that why the RICO charge is so important, right? Because the RICO uh, carries the minimum of 5 years.
Yes.
That's what carries the minimum of 5 years. So, and I think that's going to be the stick they use. There's going to be no carrot here. It's going to be all stick. Uh, do you want to hang with this guy? No carrot, stick. 5 years minimum.
Yep.
Minimum.
Yep.
So that's why definitely of the 19, including Trump, the 19 that have been indicted, that many are not going to go to trial on the RICO charges. They're not.
Well, and the carrot would be immunity, right? In this
I,
scenario.
I would doubt that she has to hand too much of that out, Miss Willis.
That's true. That's true. I mean, it could be only, 5 of them are able to even get to that point of having the immunity because they'll sing like a canary, like Meadows, who we know is going crazy and is trying his best.
Because that dude didn't even want to turn himself in. He didn't want to go through the booking process, let alone the trial. He wants no part of this.
Nope.
He's regretting every life decision that has got him up to this point, right?
Yep.
So that to me, he is the big guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't even want to turn himself in. So how much does he really want to play with this with a minimum of 5 years on the line? I'm going to guess that not much.
Not at
Dude
all.
doesn't even want his picture taken. He doesn't want his fingerprints taken, and apparently doesn't want to be weighed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it's a funny scenario because he's trying to. So they have a Friday deadline, right? And
Friday noon. Yeah.
he got a federal judge to see his case to move it to federal.
Not going to happen.
But that's not till Monday, and the judge sent him an email saying, "Hey, man, deadline's the deadline. You're not.
Bro.
We will have an arrest warrant for your ass."
Yeah, you can go ahead and play with this. And look, no one from Georgia is going to go seek him out wherever the hell he is. So I mean, so it'll be interesting to see how much does he push that because yeah, okay, arrest warrant could be issued, but no one's going to go get him in D.C. or wherever the hell he's hanging out, right? No one's going to go do that. So does he try and ride that out? But here's the thing: if there's an arrest warrant for him, there's no voluntary turn-in anymore.
Nope.
You're getting a chance right now that this is kind of under your own terms. Come in when you want. We're open 24/7.
Yeah.
Come in and turn yourself in. But if you don't, there's an arrest warrant. Now we're talking handcuffs and the perp walk.
Yeah, and so you're talking about you get rid of the good faith deal that you
Right.
had. So where your attorney can negotiate bail, all that kind of stuff. That what I've been reading on is these attorneys are like, okay, this is bail, this is so it could be like 10,000 to 80,000 or whatever, and so it's going kind of crazy right now. But the good faith is turn yourself in before Friday 12:30,
Right.
and that's why Trump's going tomorrow. So
Right. You don't want to pay anymore. And we talked about you and I about the bail. So Trump is under a $200,000 uh, bail. Um, and I saw on X today that someone suggested that we should confiscate his passport, and like I don't think either of us believes that's necessary at all. This guy's not flight risk. Everyone in the world knows who the hell he is. Uh, but if he were a flight risk, I say that's the best thing that happened. Go flee to a jurisdiction that does not have extradition with, and I think these are the words I started with, extradition with the United States, right? That was the best for everybody. It's going to save us so much money.
yeah, no, well done on extradition.
Yeah,
No, I agree. So we talked about how ridiculous you can make his bail $50. It wouldn't matter.
it would.
He's gonna come up with the money. It could be $1 million. It doesn't matter. But because first of all, he's not paying for it. Uh, the U.S. citizens, the Trumpers out there, are paying for it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. And
Miss Pac-Man's paying for that. Man.
yes,
Miss
yes.
Pac-Man. Yeah, that's who's paying for that.
So I just it's everything's starting to gear up, and you're going to find more information like the employee number 4 in the other indictment.
From Florida.
Apparently that happened in July, by the way, that we just now finding that out. But I guarantee you, a lot of people have flipped already. We just don't know about it yet. And there's deals happening under the table, and their main thrust here is Trump and maybe Giuliani, if he's not careful, trying to make himself like one of the primaries.
Right. So there's a couple things. So the big stick here in Georgia is the 5 years minimum for RICO, right? But what you also have in the federal case is it's not only a crime for whatever you did. If you lied to a federal investigator, that in and of itself is a crime.
Yes.
You can be charged
Mhm.
for just merely not telling the truth to any federal investigator. And that is going to be his stick, Smith's stick, in the federal prosecution. So there's going to be so much flipping going on. It's going to be unreal. Because
Yes.
whereas normally you get offered plea deals, he's going to threaten you with maximum. And we'll see how tough you are. I mean, what are you going to roll the dice and take your chances? What are you going to do? It's about to get really, really interesting.
Well, and I think Cohen made a good point. He goes, you don't really know how much pressure it is when the bills start coming for lawyers, and it's starting to crush you. That's the
Yeah.
whole thing. And they're going to find out. They'll find out. And I think the government doesn't really have to do anything. It's only been a week, man. And the pressure's already starting to get to people. And you're going to see a lot more stuff coming out. And, well, which makes sense. I mean, it happens to everybody, any citizens that break the law in this, well, maybe not this fashion, but in some sort of fashion, it kind of crushes you a little bit and makes you.
Well, especially when you have a motivated prosecutor, that's the difference. So in your local municipality, they're pretty lazy investigators. They're pretty lazy prosecutors. That's why you see plea deals. That's why you see all that crap. No offense, public servants, but you're typically lazy. Okay, so you take the path of least resistance.
It's literally plead guilty all the time, and 90% of the cases. Whatever.
Right. That is not happening here. What's going to happen is pressure, 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 and they're going to show you their evidence. Your lawyers are going to advise you, yeah, it's a pretty good deal, take that. They may or may not be right because lawyers, no offense, are typically lazy as hell. Path of least resistance. So what's going to happen? There's going to be some hard decisions being made. We talk about in this country crushing medical debt, right? That
Yes.
happens because of
Mhm.
our pathetic healthcare system. But crushing legal debt, you think the healthcare industry
Yeah.
seeks out their money hard?
Yeah.
Screw a lawyer over, man. Screw a lawyer over. They are gonna fuck you 6 ways from Sunday, man. They
Yeah.
are gonna get their money.
Yeah. Pay your lawyers is the advice,
Pay your lawyer. Man. Pay your
because
lawyer.
they don't mess around, and it's
Yeah.
and I can't believe half these guys have lawyers because Giuliani and Trump are notorious for not paying them. But watch out, man.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be an interesting season. What we'll call indictment season. Um,
yeah, we
we're
should.
it's going to
We need to make our our predictions
yeah,
like we do our playoff predictions, right?
yeah. It's going to start rolling here, and stuff's going to come at us fast and furious. It's going to start in maybe 2 3 months, where once the Florida case gets rolling, I think that they're asking for a trial in January. Uh, Georgia's not going to fuck around too long because they don't. That's a state court. They're far quicker than federal courts. They are going to get this stuff scheduled. It's not going to be delayed because of an election. It's not going to be delayed because of other indictments.
Yeah,
It's just going to roll, and so we're going to see a lot here. And I can't wait. I'm going to start popping popcorn right now because it's going to be a great indictment season.
no doubt. This is a very interesting season of indictments.
Yeah.
I thought I was engaged in football season, but now I'm like I'm in between right now. So
Well, I mean, fortunately, we're going to have football to tide us over because I think this really starts to get rolling come January. Unfortunately, during the playoffs, and I don't want to distract from that, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah.
Yeah. I think we're done here.
I think we're done here.